Hello and welcome to a brand new series of The Whiteout. I'm Emily Sarsfield, British Winter Olympian, and I'm socially distanced. Things are a little bit different now, but I am, of course, with Rob Stewart, gear expert from In the Snow. How are you doing, Rob? It's been a while.
Yeah, hi Emily. I'm great, thanks. Really good. It's great to be back. We were supposed to be filming this on the snow, but it's just nice to be here, isn't it? It has been an interesting year, but what I've really enjoyed is watching how resourceful skiers are. You've just got to check some of these videos out. They're amazing.
Oh, I love that video, how they've built their own chairlift in the garden. That is absolutely epic. So this is going to be a mega episode, so make sure you're comfortable. We're going to be covering all things, obviously the elephant in the room, which is COVID, and how we can still ski with that and how it may look. Obviously we've got some interviews with some real ski insiders, and we've got a bit of a green episode where we're going to be looking at travel to ski resorts, and also a revolutionary piece from Helly Hansen, which they have brought out. So get comfortable and we'll get started. You've got something else. What's going on?
Well, there's loads going on, but if you're watching the live edition of this show, then you can go straight afterwards to roranmiller.co.uk and watch the new premiere of the future retro film from Roran Miller. It's a new movie, it's just come out, and this is your chance to watch it virtually. They're not doing the cinema tour this year, so catch up on roranmiller.co.uk. If you're not watching the live edition of this show, then you can still go to roranmiller.co.uk and you can catch up on loads of Roran Miller movies that are on there for you to watch.
Let's kick off with this edition then. We've always got the bit where we put you on the spot. We've got the 60 seconds of news. So you've got a little bit of time to cover here, Rob, but you've got to do it in 60 seconds.
I know,
so,
I'll do my best.
Are you ready?
I am.
Off you go.
Right, 60 seconds. So there's a lot of talk about new drones this winter. The Three Valleys have introduced drones that aid ski patrollers and can also talk to skiers if they get into trouble. In London, a Sky Gym have opened a new gym that links skiers up to machines, to high-resolution screens and sensors. You can actually control the conditions that you're skiing in a gym. So even if we don't get out into the snow this winter, we can still ski. Kind of. Tyrol in Austria, they've launched a new festival. It's a new winter festival called the Dirndl and Lederhosen Festival. Amazing. And they're going to have so many things going on. Beer tasting, snowball target shooting, and even zippelbob racing. That's it. In Grindelwald, they're launching the second stage of the V cableway system that takes skiers straight out of Grindelwald up to the Eiger Glacier. It comes after last year's launch of the Manneken lift that's really revolutionised how skiers can access the mountain from Grindelwald.
And finally, to end on a little bit of sparkle, Graham Bell, the former Olympic skier and Ski Sunday presenter, has been named as one of the guests or challengers on Dancing on Ice. So if his après ski is anything to go by, it should be a bit of an interesting watch. And I hear you know a little bit.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing Graham's après ski moves transferred to the ice on television. Just check out this video of our colleague Henry trying an ice dancing lift on him. Seriously, it looks like he's training really hard, and we know Graham is at home in the cold, so we're looking forward to seeing him perform on ice this winter.
So we're going to kick off our 2021 winter update in association with Sunweb. We're going to have to mention the elephant in the room, which is COVID. Everyone's talking about it, and what a crazy year it has been. But, we're all desperate to know how we can get back on our skis, snowboards, and get to the mountains, or even maybe that might be within the UK, we're not sure. But Rob, come on, tell me kind of like some of the things, what skiing might be a little bit different this year and what's kind of actually going on.
Well, we know that skiers really want to go out to the mountains and ski, but we don't have a crystal ball. We're not sure how this season is going to pan out yet. It's really important for us to just check all the regulations and what we can and cannot do. But so far, we are looking ahead at this season and really hoping that we'll get onto the snow.
There's different precautions which the resorts have put into place. So just run us through some of the things which might be just slightly different, which won't affect, obviously, the feel of that champagne powder under our foot, but kind of what might be a little different.
Yeah, I mean, resorts are planning to operate pretty much the rest of the world as the rest of the world is, with COVID regulations in place. Access to the slopes. We know that in some ski areas in North America, they're going to restrict numbers of ski passes on the mountain. But as far as we know, we don't think that that's going to happen in the Alps. Mask wearing will be mandatory on ski lifts in most places.
Well, we're pretty much wearing those buffs anyway, so that's pretty standard.
Yeah, I mean, actually I think buffs are going to be okay. And then they can be worn as long as your face is covered.
Yeah.
And of course, we're used to doing that anyway when we're skiing. And on lifts, it feels fine to do that. Both inside cable cars, but also on chairlifts as well. So mask wearing will be mandatory on both of those settings. Social distancing is exactly the same as it would be anywhere else. We know that mountains give us all of that space as well. And when we're in lift queues and on ski lifts, we have to manage that. The other thing is cash-free. We're so used to cash-free society now, but some ski resorts, if you go to some ski resorts, they're still used to cash, but that's changing too. So we will be used to using our card a lot more if we go into, say, a mountain restaurant this winter.
I mean, we've heard that some kind of tour operators might have some difficult times, but we've also heard of kind of like all the resorts who are putting so many precautions in place to make sure that they are ready, kind of like, it's like preventative measures, haven't they? And they've been thinking about this for kind of like eight months now. They've had all this time to kind of make sure that they're ready for the guests.
It's absolutely true. Ski resorts operate all year round. And I was lucky enough to be out in the summer this year in the French Alps and the Swiss Alps for a while. And the lifts were operating as normal there for the summer hikers and the mountain bikers. And all of those kind of COVID procedures were in place. And mask wearing, gel stations, and social distancing. So I think for this winter, we'll see exactly the same things implemented through the winter that we did see in the summer. So they're used to running them already.
Yeah, no, exactly that. And I think the one thing we need to remember is we're hearing all this press about kind of like, this is cancelled, X is cancelled, it's not cancelled, right? I mean, we're not going to sit here and say that, you could definitely go on your ski holiday next week. But what we are saying that there's kind of those tour operators and some of those like Sunweb, for instance, I could go kind of go onto their website and they've got all sorts of precautions in place which kind of covers my back. So they've got repatriation, they'll kind of like, if it's cancelled due to kind of, I don't know, COVID affects something, they will give me my money back, I can change, and they've got such a varied amount of locations where I can go and travel. So there is kind of options available, which I know I've got my back covered if I am thinking about booking my ski holiday.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think tour operators have obviously spent a lot of time and effort. Like, for example, Sunweb, they will also look after your insurance needs as well. So they will advise you on what insurance you need to have when you go on your ski holiday. And they've now implemented all of these things in place so that if something did happen, for example, your ski holiday had to be cancelled, then the money is there to refund afterwards, which we know last winter there were some issues with that because it was an unprecedented situation and it's been a lot of work for the tour operators to get things in place. But I think now they're really ready to move forward this winter.
Yeah, perfect. So if we do actually manage to kind of get ourselves out there and stuff like that, which we're all desperate to and we can't wait to get back on our skis. I mean, there is one downside. I can't just gloss over it, but après ski, is it going to be a little bit different?
It is going to be different. But again, if I use the example of being out in the Alps this summer, it's a similar situation. Of course, in the summer, people are outdoors, and in the winter, more people will go inside. So, we will see outside spaces being utilised, I think, and social distancing in place, but we will also see restaurant reservations and bar reservations and table-only service sort of style. So, if someone wants to go and have a drink after skiing, it's most likely going to be able to happen if bars can stay open, which I think in many places they will. At the end of the day, we're going out there to ski and enjoy the mountains and hopefully have a nice time afterwards as well in the après ski, but it won't be dancing on tables and being in a nightclub
till 4 o'clock
in the morning.
Your bubble. Well, Rob, we could sit here and talk all episode about this subject, but come on, give me some quick advice. If I was going to book a ski holiday, what would I do?
Well, I think, we look at Sunweb and what tour operators are doing right now, and it's to give people peace of mind, skiers peace of mind when they're booking their holidays. And, it's really worth just going to speak to a tour operator, go to sunweb.co.uk, for example, and speak to them about, what's going on if they book a holiday. And it's been a tough time for tour operators, especially over the summer, but they've really got things together for this winter because they obviously want people to book holidays. And so, they're offering peace of mind to skiers, and that's the main thing. And they're doing a great job in making sure that we can go skiing, but feel that, we're going to get, if things go wrong, we'll be looked after.
Yeah, and obviously there's all sorts of noise at the moment about vaccines and all other things. So things could change at any moment. So we are going to be giving you the latest news on COVID and get into your ski holiday in every episode. So make sure you keep updated with that.
So there's one destination that always gets a great reaction anytime we post it up on social media, and that is Scotland. Scotland, it's right on our doorstep and it's absolutely beautiful. The Highlands is incredible landscape. I love going up there myself. I try and go up every winter, and I've even done a ski season up there many years ago, but it was great fun. The thing to remember about Scotland is it is very, very different to the Alps, but actually, it's not that far away and it's easy to get to. So, it's really worth considering going up to Scotland for a winter holiday. A winter holiday in Scotland might not just involve skiing. There's so many other things to do, and actually it's really, really sensible to plan different activities if you're going to go to Scotland, because some days, we know that up there the weather can be very, very changeable, and the snow conditions can be changeable too. On a good day in Scotland, in the Highlands, honestly, personally, there's nowhere better else to be. It's absolutely fantastic. There's 5 main mountain centres in Scotland. Cairngorm, probably the best well known, is close to Aviemore. Aviemore's the main accommodation centre if you're going to go skiing in Cairngorm. It's got tons of hotels. It's a really bustling place actually. Loads of hotels and restaurants, and it's about a 20-minute drive from Cairngorm Mountain itself. So you drive up there. Cairngorm, there's over 30 different runs on Cairngorm, and it's also got the UK's highest cafe too. On a clear day, fantastic views across the east coast of Scotland and over to the West Highlands and towards Ben Nevis, the highest mountain in Great Britain. So really well-known ski area, Cairngorm. Good if you're going to go up, say, for a long weekend or a longer stay, because there's loads to do in Aviemore as well and around the area. And Cairngorm has recently just got a new cash injection of £20.5 million as well to renew the funicular railway that's up there. So Glencoe, the oldest ski centre in Scotland, is more over on the west coast. There is some accommodation on site, there's some lodges that you can stay in, otherwise Fort William is very close by. It's got Scotland's steepest black run called the Flypaper. So, if you want a bit more kind of steeper, more extreme, it's got some good off-piste skiing as well, Glencoe could be the place. Glen Shee is the UK's largest snow sports centre. It's got 22 ski lifts and it spreads over 4 different mountains and 3 valleys. It's also just a 2-hour drive from Edinburgh, so it's one of the easiest to get to from the central belt of Scotland. It's quite easy and accessible. Also, the runs are suitable for all levels of skier. There's blue, red and black runs in Glen Shee. I even took my daughter there to learn to ski for the first time. Fantastic ski schools there too. The town of Braemar is close by, which is a great place to stay, and it's only about 10 minutes drive from the ski centre. So more over on the west coast of Scotland, you've got the Nevis Range, which is a really, really cool area because it's on Britain's 8th highest mountain, Anach Mòr. It's got 11 ski lifts and it's got the UK's only mountain gondola, which actually takes you from the car park to the ski area. And then it spreads out from there. It holds the snow really well. So if you're going to Scotland in the springtime to ski, it can be worth considering the Nevis Range just because it holds that snow. And the views from there are spectacular. Nearby Lochaber and Fort William provide a lot of accommodation, a lot of eating out options as well. So there's tons to do in that area and it is a beautiful part of the country. So we've also got the Lecht, which is towards the east coast, and it's right on one of the UK's highest roads. It's really snowshore, but they're investing a lot of money at the moment, £400,000 into more snowmaking facilities for the resort. £300,000 has come from the government, but they're crowdfunding a significant part of the rest of the money. It's really good for families, the Lect. It's got lots of nice, gentle, easy runs that are well maintained, and everything sort of ends up in that one-day lodge at the bottom where you can eat and you can hire your skis and boots and that sort of thing. So it's a really convenient place for families. It's accessible from Aviemore and also from Braemar, but there's other accommodation centres close by as well. So it's a little bit more remote than some of the other places, but once you get there, it's a really, really nice family-oriented place to ski. The other thing about the Lect is there's tons of other things to do in that area, like whisky distilleries, for example. There's lots of really famous ones around there. In the south of Scotland, not actually in the Highlands, but in the southern uplands, there's Lowther Hills Ski Club, which is a smaller ski club. Obviously a little bit closer if you're coming up from England into Scotland, but it is a smaller, more kind of club feel than the main ski areas in the Highlands. Also with Lowther Hills, you do need to be a member, so check it out online, and you do also need to bring your own equipment because they don't have on-site ski equipment hire there. I would always urge anyone that's really into their skiing especially to go to Scotland to ski in the winter if you haven't tried it already. It is very different to the Alps. You know, we've got to be very clear about that. It's a different feel. But you know, there's so much to see and do up there as well as skiing that for a holiday, either with your mates or with your family, it can be great fun. I've certainly enjoyed it every time that I go up.
Something that many of us are starting to consider a lot more about our ski holiday is sustainability. And we've all seen kind of climate change and how that's affecting the mountains. And I, for one, am not fancying living in the world without any skiing. So there's lots of things we can take on board, whether it's our travel, what resorts we're choosing, or even kind of within our clothing, because some of those brands are linking up to protect our winters and also changing kind of materials and the way that things are designed and made. I know that you've got something to show us.
The thing is about being responsible or sustainable is that it can actually start in your wardrobe with the clothes that you choose. And what I've got here is a new jacket, a new launch from Helly Hansen. It's a Leafa Infinity Pro jacket, and there's two different models. There's the Odin and there's the Elevation. And the Elevation is a free ride jacket, and the Odin is more geared towards ski touring. But you know, Helly Hansen, 140 years of innovative products. Helly Hansen have been, that's how long they've been making clothing for, sailing and ski clothing, as we know. And what they say is that they make professional grade gear to help people stay alive and feel alive as well. That's their kind of motto, if you like. And I guess this new Leafa Infinity Pro jacket embodies that. The key thing here is that it's actually first to market technology. Helly Hansen are saying this is the first time anyone's quite brought this kind of responsible technology into a ski jacket without compromising the performance at all. One of the really key things about the fact that, yeah, this is a responsibly made jacket without the use of chemicals and without the need to reproof with chemical products afterwards. But the key thing to remember is its performance. They haven't compromised on that. Helly Hansen has not compromised on the performance. It's a highly waterproof and highly breathable jacket as well. And breathability, especially if you're ski touring, is one of the key things. It's all very well having something that's waterproof, but if it's not breathable, you've got big problems. And this Leafa material, from what I understand, is really, really highly breathable. And that's almost, well, it's certainly as important as being waterproof, if not more important. I saw this jacket at ISPO this year, back in the end of January in Munich, you know, the big trade show that launches all the new equipment, and it really caught my eye. It looks great, but what's really cool about it is this whole responsible aspect that they've put into this jacket, but also the fact that it is really high performing. They use a lot of athletes to help develop their products, so they test and test and test with professional athletes, and in fact, last week, I caught up with Freeride World Tour legend Aurélien Decroux, who lives in Chamonix in the French Alps. And he's been testing this jacket extensively over last winter. And he told us a little bit more about what it does and what it is. Hi Aurélien, how are you?
Hello, very good. Thank you very much.
You've traveled the world as a freeride skier. You know, you've been on the Freeride World Tour. You've been Freeride World Tour champion. And I know you've won the Verbier Extreme 4 times, which is a record. So some fantastic achievements there.
It is. Thank you.
I mean, it's pretty cool being, you know, sponsored by a company like Helly Hansen and being a professional athlete, being able to be sponsored. But I mean, how involved do you get in the R&D side, in the actual research and development of the products?
I would say more and more year by years. I work, of course, a lot on testing with them, bringing them as much feedback as I can.
Helly Hansen have launched this new jacket, the Lifa Infinity Pro. And you know, what's the most extreme conditions you've put the Lifa Infinity Pro through, for example? The new jacket.
Well, so Lifa Infinity Pro, it's a ski jacket. So the idea was to test it in all kind of condition we can find out in the mountains. On this program with the Lifa Infinity Pro, I had more than 70 days tasting. And really, as I said, I've been trying to go in every condition to be 100% sure that this new fabric, this new concept, this new tech will work everywhere. And so that was all winter long last year. It's a really good result. So we are really happy about this new product for sure.
With your experience on the mountain and the things that you've done in your career, do you really think that it makes a big difference for you when you're on a mountain now to have the kind of technology that, you know, Helly Hansen are putting into a jacket?
Yes, of course. As you said, we have seen a huge evolution in terms of breathability, first of all, also waterproofness. Those two combined make you more confident when you go out skiing. It's lighter in your backpack, and when you go hiking for hours, it makes a big difference.
You know, they talk a lot about sustainability, but I think, you know, a lot of companies are talking about similar things. I mean, what kind of makes this jacket actually stand out from the rest of those brands?
Well, first of all, this is our challenge, trying to be more sustainable. For me, the main thing is having everyone in the same direction, which is great. The new tech with Helly Hansen, trying to take off all the chemicals and using like more than 70% less water by producing the jacket. The two things we need to understand without losing any performance.
Cool. Okay. Well, look, I've got one of these. I don't know if it's going to work. Is it going to work? Oh no! Look, the screen's not picking it up. It is a Lifa Infinity Pro. Oh, there we go.
Yeah.
There, it's coming up. It's like an invisibility jacket. I have tested it so far in the English weather conditions. I can say it works. It works pretty well. So I'm looking forward to trying it on snow as well. It's been a real pleasure. I really want to speak to you.
Yeah, it's been a pleasure too, and happy to talk to you and maybe to see you this winter if we have the chance to travel and go skiing all over. So
that would be fantastic. I'd love to
wish you all a great winter with a lot of snow, I hope.
So if you want to get your hands on one of these Lifa Infinity Pro jackets, either the Elevation or the Odin, then go to hellyhansen.com. Check it out.
So we thought about being more responsible with our wardrobe, but also we can think about other things when it comes to our ski holiday to make them greener. One of which is obviously travel. We tend to kind of go on ski holidays via a flight, but we know that's not the greenest option. I know you've got a few stats for us.
I have indeed, Emily. I love a few stats. In 2011, rail travel company Snow Carbon did some research on this. And what they did is they looked at travel between London and Tignes in France, ski resort Tignes. And they looked at the CO2 emissions per person for travel on a plane. And if you travel on a plane, it's around 82 kilograms of CO2 per person that you use. If you travel in a car of 4 people, it's around 57 kilograms of CO2 per person in a car of 4. But if you travel by rail, by train, that is only 14 kilograms of CO2 emissions, so dramatically reduced. I mean, the data's a little bit old, but I think it still stands today. And a coach actually is pretty good as well. It's somewhere between that rail travel at 14 and the car at 57. But it's also, you know, it's not a bad way to travel, but train is obviously the greenest.
Yeah, I mean, and this year, 2020 has thrown all sorts at us. And I mean, there's also different those different options of travel, not only are they greener, but kind of like traveling in a car with the COVID situation being kept in that bubble might be a pretty good time to kind of try a different alternative to go on your ski holiday this year, because you're all together, you're reducing kind of your carbon footprint, but also you're staying safe at the same time. I know the ski train that's been cancelled
for this
for
winter.
this winter. But there's always kind of other options by changing in Paris.
Absolutely, and taking the Eurotunnel in a self-drive car as well. And, and it's not difficult to get to the Alps. And we've just heard very recently that EasyJet are only going to run around 20% of their seasonal flights at the moment. Yeah. So, driving could be a really, really good option this
Exactly.
winter.
So perfect to kind of change it up if you're thinking there's loads of stuff out there on the internet just to click away. So we've got wardrobe and travel, but also the resorts themselves are doing a lot for kind of sustainability.
Yeah, loads of resorts are doing things. Serre Chevalier, for example, in the French Alps, they're aiming to produce all of their own electricity themselves, which is fantastic. Val Thorens and the Three Valleys, they're implementing a range of electric vehicles to get people around the resort. Over in Chamonix, they're doing huge amounts of work in the valley. And Chamonix is one of the partner resorts of Helly Hansen. Helly Hansen have lots of partner resorts all over the world, including Chamonix, Arosa, Aspen in the States.
So when you say partner resorts, what does that actually mean?
So it means that if you buy a Helly Hansen jacket or pants, you'll get a free ski day, a free lift pass for that resort that they partner up with.
Okay, so just jumping back to Chamonix, what you mentioned before, obviously, you see it firsthand in Chamonix because you're looking at the glacier and you can see the effects of the climate kind of on the glacier actually shrinking. I remember going training there years ago and then went back there last year and I was quite shocked at the difference. So they've kind of like had that sustainability kind of on their mind constantly, and back in 2013 they got a Flocon Vert, which is kind of a green award, and they're changing kind of always updating kind of sustainability with their public transport and stuff like that.
Yeah, they are. They're managing it really well in the valley, and they're electric vehicles, that sort of thing, and public transport to get people around without creating pollution. So they're doing their bit. And obviously, the effects that we see that's a global issue, not a local one. But they're doing their thing there in Chamonix as well.
Yeah, and it's great that kind of all these resorts are kind of taking on that responsibility to be, a little bit more responsible, using that word quite a lot. But there's also something else you want to mention, which is being hosted.
Helly Hansen are sponsoring the premiere of the new Roran Miller movie, Future Retro, which you can watch straight after this show.
Well, it's great to know that we can all just think a little bit more about whether it's what we're wearing, how we're travelling, or where we're going on our ski holiday. Just little steps to just be a little bit more greener.
While most of us are still locked down in our homes here in the UK, our Ski Technique editor, Roran Smith, is lucky enough to be out in Verbier. And I'm going to call him now, actually, to ask him a few questions about what we might be able to do if we don't get the chance to go out on the snow this season. And also what we could do to help improve our skiing if we do manage to get out on the snow. You better answer. Come on, Roran. I know you're busy.
Hey, Rob.
Hey, Roran. How are you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Yeah, very good, thanks.
Hi.
Hey.
How are you doing? Pretty jealous of your background there.
Yeah. We just got back out to the Alps. The glaciers are in amazing condition. You can see here we're in Verbier. We've got the Petit Comban and the Grand Comban in the background. Lovely shot there. And everything's just getting ready for the winter. But everyone at the moment skiing up in Lac de Vaux, which is good. But as I say, this time of year, the glaciers are in pristine condition, so it's looking nice up there.
I mean, no one really knows what this winter is going to bring. It's possible that some people might not be able to make it out onto the snow this year. But if that's the case, what sort of things can we be doing at home to just make sure that we stay on top of our game all the time, so that when we do get the chance to go out, and if we do, we're ready for action?
Absolutely, Rob. We've just been doing this actually around the UK. I know you guys were involved with our tour, which was great. When we got to meet, even in smaller numbers, a lot of people who are really interested in doing exercises off of snow. So working on, your ski technique and making sure your biomechanical ranges of movement were good enough and adequate enough to actually match what your ski coach might be giving you when you get out to the Alps. And we got some amazing results. Myself and Rob have been doing that tour for quite a few years now, but we've come to realise that so much of what you can do to better yourself is at the heart of it is at the biomechanics. So obviously the strength and conditioning is just as important, but without those ranges of movement, it doesn't matter how good your ski coach is or how much strength and conditioning you do. If you can't make the right ranges of movement, you can't put it into play. So you kind of can't cheat the biomechanics. And that would be the ideal thing to be working on in these uncertain times. If you've got those extra few weeks to be at home with not too much to do.
That's great. I think Emily's got some questions for you as well, Roran. So I'm just going to help.
Hi. So
How you doing?
I'm good. Don't worry. I know you know that I'm a ski instructor. I'm not trying to steal all of your brain work here. Don't worry. But tell me, what's your most important top tip you could give to a skier?
Yeah, do you know, if it's the stuff to work on off of snow, we usually work through the ranges of movement. You know, the classic thing is flex. A lot of people not having enough range in their actual physiology to match what they need to drive through the ski boot. So a lot of people could be working through some calf stretches and some foam rollers and just to get that lower joint active and in a really safe position to, one, take uncertain shots, but also two, sort of up the performance level when you really want to crank force through the boot. Another thing, classic thing, is symmetry, just switching on your lateral control muscles. Your adductors and getting your adductors working with your glutes and your core. There's a lot of exercises there with sliders that you can work on to tune up the symmetry, you could say, and to get that sort of symmetrical shape being supported by the muscles. And probably the most important one at home we found is steering range. A lot of people don't realize it, but they get blocked on their internal steering range. So to put it in layman's terms, if you turn it to the right, you want to know that your left leg, and I'll show you what we do. We do an exercise at home, getting people to hold their hips, stabilize their hips, and just doing a stepping around exercise. And if you can see there, my right leg is getting to about 70 degrees across without the hips moving. Now, what's really interesting on the tests that we do with people, the national average wasn't 70 degrees, it was 43 degrees. And that's with over 5,000 people being tested. The other thing that's really important on this one is that when they go left and right and test themselves, the national average was a 25-degree difference between their left and right leg, and it usually always related to someone's weaker turn. So if you imagine you're being asked to finish off your turn by your ski instructor, and you've only got a 30 or 40 degrees in a steering range, you're never going to be able to get that turn finished off without your hip following you around the turn and dampening off that gradation you'll be working on. So that's a really important thing that we found, and that you can make great work with at home. All of that information is obviously on the website, and it's going to be on in the Snow Magazine's web pages as well. So that's somewhere where people can access it and get the at-home exercises.
So I love the way now that we've actually got something we can actually work on our skiing, but in our front room at home. So we're kind of going to be one step ahead when we actually get to the mountains this winter. Fingers crossed. Now, I think you've already told us all of those tips now, because I was going to challenge you. I was going to give you 5 minutes to kind of teach me something new, but I reckon you might have already given me a few.
Oh, absolutely. Well, why don't we nip off to the glacier now and
Yep.
go and get some pointers worked on for something for a beginner, something for an intermediate, and something for an advanced skier. We're doing a very quick turnaround. Does that sound good?
Yeah, perfect.
Sounds good, Roran.
Awesome.
Get yourself up there. Get yourself up there and have some fun.
Brilliant. See you guys in a minute.
Cheers.
See ya.
See you.
Made a quick dash for the slopes. I'm up in Verbier. Funny enough, looking at a lot of the classic pointers that you wanted us to give people, some how-tos. We wanted to just make a couple of easy things for you to understand and to maybe give people things to think about and work on at home as well as on the mountain. When we were in Lac de Vaux watching the skiers here in Verbier, we saw a lot of people skiing in the back seat. All right, that's a really classic thing in skiing. A lot of the time it's just gaining muscle memory and getting really comfortable with the ski boots that you're in. Obviously in the UK we've got some of Europe's best boot fitters. It's a great opportunity when things do open up to go and get your boots double checked. The other thing to think about is how you do your boots up. Something really simple on this top clip, making sure around the top of the boot there's not a big gap. You want it to be nice and close. This buckle here is going to retain you and pull you into the back of the boot. It's important that when I stand on the ski I can drive and get a good range of movement in my lower joint. If you can see that, my knee is flexing my ankle is flexing and my hips flexing all together. Just think about isolating your ankle and giving it an exercise. We sometimes do an ankle flex exercise. If you haven't had a lot of experience, do this on the flat. If you've had a little bit, go onto a green slope or a blue or even a red if you're a more advanced skier. So that was one point that we wanted to talk to people about to get them comfortable and warmed up for their ski season. The other thing we wanted to talk about is symmetry. You may have heard of the word, the A-frame, being thrown around a lot. That is basically when your knees are either closer together than your feet or your feet are wider than your knees. When we run courses, we often find easily 95% of skiers skiing in an A-frame where their knees are closer together. And a really simple awareness exercise is to get your hands on your knees here and try skiing down, but using the sensitivity of your hands to try and stabilize your knees. Even if you're skiing an A-frame when you're going through your turn, you can make slight adjustments. So it's a great exercise to work on your own, even without a coach or an instructor. So hopefully there's a couple of pointers in that will give you some things to work on. But as we said, on the In the Snow website, you'll see some of these exercises to work on at home as well. So we can take you through that. Just one other point, real simple. Another area we saw this morning, lots of, were people throwing their arms around, a lot of upper body rotation, a lot of hip rotation going into the turns. Just real simple one. Just try and get your hands on your hips when you ski. Just down here, stop this hip rotation coming round. Hands again, a bit like hands on knees. It's a really good way of getting feedback. You know, if you're just skiing, going through your turns, not having much to sort of quantify or measure, as soon as you use your hands, put them on your hips, you're going to know straight away when they've started to rotate into the turn. Your inward rotation, so if I'm turning and finish my turn off to the right, that's without my hip moving, but I'm getting my ski across the fall line about 70 degrees. You know, there's an exercise you can work on at home to try and test your inner range of steering. What's quite interesting on the tour we did in October around the UK within the snow was when we tested people, we got to a national average of 43 degrees. So a lot of people didn't actually have that range of movement. That's why this lockdown can give you time to work on expanding your biomechanics and your ranges of movement. And when you do get on snow, just go for a simple run at the start of your day. Just think about trying to get your hands on your hips here, standing up on top of your skis, and just give it 5 or 10 minutes. You'll very quickly become aware of what your hips are doing. So guys, that was just a little bit of a taster. We'll give you a bit more of an insight as to what we're doing this winter within the snow. We're going to be giving out a lot of video content for you guys to watch throughout the whole winter season. Things that you can work on at home, but mainly stuff that you're going to be working on the mountain. What I was skiing on today, I was on a Vocal Mantra. It's a carbon version, and it's also got the Kingpin binding, the Marker Kingpin. So it's something that I was doing with my touring boots. I had some skins on earlier today, went skinning, and a lot more people are thinking about that this season as well. So when you're scrolling through the pages of the website and looking at things, you know, look out for kit that could also get you away from the crowds. Something to think about for this season. Thanks for watching, guys, and back over to you in the studio. Hope you enjoyed the tips, and we'll see you again soon.
One destination that sometimes misses out on our radar is Andorra. It's a fantastic little country of its own, right bang in the middle of the Pyrenees mountain range. We're lucky enough today to have Michael Doherty from Andorra Travel Service come and see us. So hi Michael, how are you doing?
Very well, thank you.
Great, good, nice to see you. So Andorra, you know, I know Andorra, I've been there several times. I love the place, I really do. But why should we choose Andorra, say, over the Alps, for example?
Great question. I would say mainly it's value for money. Andorra provides exceptional value for money. It's not the cheap. It was viewed sort of like probably about 20 years ago about the cheap and chips place to go.
Yeah,
but
sure. Parties and good value.
With all the investment that they put in the snow cannons and the ski areas, it's now a little bit more, but it's still exceptional value for money.
So there's lots of different resorts in Andorra as well, isn't there? People think of Andorra, they lump it together as one place, but there are different resorts, and I think, you know, they've got their own identities. So for example, if I wanted to go to Andorra with my family, what resort would I choose?
I know you, so I know you're a great skier, so I'm not sure about your family, so I'm just going to make this bit up. I would probably recommend Soldeo for you, because then we could keep you entertained. There's 210 kilometres in the Gran Valira ski area. In Soldeo, you're right in the heart of the Gran Valira area. And for your family, if your partner and children haven't skied before, we have a fantastic ski school. It's a native English-speaking ski school, so whether you want group lessons, which are great fun, or private lessons, then that's the way to go and keep you. For me, when I started, then I took my children to Andorra, I went to a place called Arensau, which is over on the other side of Andorra, in the Valnord range, and then progressed over to Soldeo.
Okay. So Andorra Travel Service has its own ski school in Soldeo itself, or you work with a ski school?
The mountains have their own ski school. There's only one ski school, the Gran Valira ski school in the Gran Valira range, and the Valnord ski school over in Pal, Arensau.
So Gran Valira is a big ski area, right? I mean, it's comparable with some of the big ski areas in the Alps.
It is. It's a large, very large area, 210 kilometres, and then they've just bought the extra area of Arcalise, which is about a 30-minute, 40-minute drive away.
So what other resorts are connected to Soldeo through the Gran Valira area then?
So if you look at Gran Valira with Soldeo, you're right in the heart of it, right in the middle. If you branch off to the right, you go over to Passo della Casa, go past Grau Roche, up, down and into Paz. If you go right, you go down into El Tata and then round into Canillo. It's a
huge area.
It's a huge area to go left or right each day.
So big area, interconnected area, great for families. Soldeo, I remember myself from Soldeo that the hotel accommodation is really, really good. Like nice 3 and 4 star hotels, basically.
You've got a fantastic range. You've got the 3 and 4 star hotels, which again are some of the most economical options there. Yeah. And then you go right up to the 5-star Hermitage, which has got the spa is just out of this world. It's like 5,000 metres square of just this beautiful spa area.
I didn't stay there, but I did go and have a look at it. What about if you're into off-piste and freeride skiing? What would be a good place to go in Andorra for that?
A great place to go is, as I mentioned before, is a place called Arcalise, which is about 40-minute drive from either Soldeo or from Arensau. And it's a great off-piste range.
And you said that's part of the Gran Valira area now as well, covered on the same lift pass?
Yes, you buy a lift pass for Gran Valira and you ski at the whole of Gran Valira, and also you get Arcalise whenever you want to pop over there.
And I know, this winter there's a lot of talk about après-ski being a little bit more subdued than it will be normally. But if you're into that kind of party scene, I mean, Andorra was always really well known for that. Can you still find that in Andorra as well?
You can still find it in Andorra, yeah. I would say the main header for that would be Passo della Casa. If you head over to there, you're going to find any type of après-ski that you could want. It's great for groups, it's great for nightlife.
And what about if you want to avoid that? Maybe you're a couple or you're going out for a romantic weekend or a week on the snow. Where would you choose?
Coming as a couple or a weekend, I would probably recommend Soldeo. We've mentioned Soldeo quite a lot. Yeah. But just its neighbour is El Tata, which is literally just around the hairpin. Round in El Tata, it's a wonderful place for couples to go.
Okay, great. Yeah, I remember El Tata. It's like quite a smaller village, but it has access to the Gran Valira area on the mountains. So.
Wonderful village feel, wonderful village restaurants. You're right there. There's a wide range from apartments to hotels, and you're right, literally 2 minutes from the slopes.
So Michael, now you've definitely sold Andorra to me to ski maybe this winter. But if I was going to go, why would I book with Andorra Travel Service?
I would say the main reason is knowledgeable staff. Our staff have lived there for years. Between them, there's over 150 years. If you ask a question, they know the answer. You get the answer straight away. You don't have to wait for it 3 years. Our contract manager there has been working with the hoteliers in the apartments for 20 odd years. He gets some of the best rates available. They're 2 of the best reasons I can think you could come.
So an Andorra specialist with really knowledgeable staff in resort that live there and know the place really well. That sounds good to me.
It's the only resort we do. We don't do any other resort apart from Andorra.
Check out AndorraTravelService.com online if you want to book a holiday this season or any other winter to Andorra. Welcome to our new gear guide for this winter season. We have been researching all year to bring you the latest kit for this winter season. So firstly, I'm going to introduce you to Megan, Deputy Editor of In the Snow magazine. Hi, Megan. Hello. And also, of course, Emily as well. And we're going to kick off with jackets. So, Megan, tell us what you've got.
Well, this is my favourite jacket for women for the upcoming winter. It's the Helly Hansen Motionista Leaf Aloft jacket. I mean, I just think it looks really nice. It's a classic Helly Hansen jacket, super stylish, but packed with all the technical features you might need on the slopes. It's got that Leaf Aloft insulation, so it's really, really warm, four-way stretch, so it's really comfy. I mean, even feeling it now, I feel like it would be a dream to wear.
Yeah, so the Leaf Aloft, that's Helly Hansen's own filling, right?
It is indeed, and it's super, super warm. So if you're wearing this on the slopes, even on the coldest of days, and especially for someone that feels the cold, it's definitely a really good choice. It's about £320, available at hellyhansen.com. And yeah, my favourite feature is the little life pocket that it has for your phone. So if your phone gets cold on the slopes and runs out of battery, if that's a problem that you have, won't happen in this jacket because it protects your phone, keeps it really warm, protects the battery.
I have got this dope jacket. It's something which I've seen on the mountains quite a lot, but this is the first time I've actually seen them in real life. They go for this kind of classic anorak kind of styling. Obviously, it's a bit of a looser fit, so it's kind of a younger trend of a jacket. A lot of pockets. They've got this main kind of pocket on the front there as well. Kind of tech-wise, they've got 15K waterproofing, 15K breathability, so it's going to keep you warm and dry. They've got the kind of the functions, what you would expect from a ski jacket as well, kind of the wrist gaiters and your lift pass pocket.
Super trendy.
Yeah.
It is really trendy. Is it insulated or is that a shell jacket?
Yeah, it's a medium insulation.
What's the price point on that one?
So actually it's a nice entry price point for this, so it's $154, and you can get it on ridestore.com.
Yeah, I've got a mid-layer jacket here from Cortazu, which I think is a relatively new brand.
I've heard of them myself.
Yeah, I mean, they're a bunch of ski enthusiasts that have worked in the clothing and fashion industry, and they've started their own ski clothing brand. And they've had some crowdfunding campaigns to really kickstart what they're doing, and they've been really successful with that. So this jacket here, it's a mid-layer. It's €135 retail price, so pretty good value for money. It's a Thinsular insulation. I think it looks really nice. I mean, the colour, for a men's jacket, that is quite an interesting. And when I say interesting, I mean I like it. I would wear it, but you don't often see colours like that for men. But I think it's a good thing.
I really like it.
Yeah,
Does it? It looks like it would pack down quite small as well.
It actually packs down into one of the pockets, which is fantastic. And the thing with Cortazu is that they only do direct sales online at cortazu.com.
So I've got another entry-level price point jacket here at $174, and it's from Montec Wear. So it's a light insulation jacket. It's got a 20K waterproofing. It's got kind of all the functions one would expect from a ski jacket, with kind of your chest pockets, your underarm air. What they called? Ventilation system, that's the one. Yeah, because actually this one is for kind of your free ride and your backcountry kind of jacket. So they've got some extra features in the hood as well here, which kind of like makes it that it fits around as a storm hood.
It's a shell jacket, right?
No, it has got a light insulation within it. Yeah,
nice.
But it does it's only light, so when you do kind of come to do your backcountry and walking in the mountain, you're not going to get too warm within that. Yeah, it's... Yeah, pretty cool jacket. It's obviously, it's got kind of like your elasticated powder skirt and stuff within there. You've got your pockets for your mobile phones. You've got the lift pass pocket, which you would expect. Your gaiters around your wrists and stuff. So yeah, nice strong jacket.
What have you got for us then, Rob?
So I've got another jacket here from Cortazu. Yeah, it does look techie actually. Cortazu. We've seen a mid-layer jacket from them, but this one is a shell outer jacket. It's the mountain shell, and it's €400 price point. So, it's sort of mid-level price point. They use Dermazax EV fabric in it, so it is pretty technical as a jacket. Waterproof, breathable jacket. It would suit a free ride skier or a ski tourer. I mean, it's not the lightest weight jacket for ski touring, for example, but definitely for free ride skiing, I'd say it's ideal. A really nice big hood that obviously will come over the top of a helmet with a little bit of a hood, a visor on the front there. Tape seams, of course, fully taped seams inside the jacket. And we know Cortazu, fairly new on the market, a group of real ski and snowboard enthusiasts that have worked in the fashion industry and they've started this brand, and they've crowdfunded it so far, but it's been really successful. And you can buy it online at Cortazu.com. It's the only place where you can go to buy Cortazu stuff, but it looks really nice to me, really good. I'm looking forward to maybe getting the chance to test that on the snow this winter. Yeah, so I've got the new Helly Hansen Straight Line Leaf Aloft Pro jacket here. It's actually a favourite of the Canadian ski team. If you see the Canadian ski team colours, same as these. Really smart looking jacket, heavily insulated, so it feels to me like it's going to be a really warm jacket. So sort of typically free ride to on-piste skiing in cold weather. And obviously with Helly Hansen, you know the quality is going to be really good. And it's a waterproof and breathable outer fabric with the insulation inside. You know, little details that Helly Hansen like to do, like the neon hood here, so it really stands out, you can really see it. And lots of pockets, loads of pockets everywhere. Everywhere you look, there seems to be a pocket. Yeah, we love lots of pockets. Even a goggle pocket here, nice goggle pocket. And other little details like obviously the powder cuff inside here. This one is not a removable powder cuff. So to me, you know, it really is a pure ski jacket. Of course, you know, you can wear it around town as well. And certainly on cold days, it will keep you warm. So this jacket retails for £300 and it is available at hellyhansen.com.
Okay, now I'm so excited about this next one. This is one of my favourite products for the upcoming season. Obviously, this one isn't in my size, but this is the One Ski Mark V ski suit.
I think you'd fit into that.
What do you reckon?
I think it looks great.
I think 3 of Megan could fit into that.
But I absolutely love the One Ski ski suits. So this is the Mark V, this is the highest quality ski suit in their collection, the highest performance basically. What One Ski do is they've kind of reinvented the retro one-piece style and made it a bit cooler. Olympic snowboarding champion Hannah Tita, she's just brought out her own range of the Mark V as well, so there's designs for men and women, and her ones are really cool. There's a nice leopard print style in there. But it's got all that high performance, it's got 20k breathability, 20k waterproofing. I mean, everything about this I just love. It's got braces inside so that it stays up even if you want to take the arms out or anything. I mean, it's even got a zipper on the bum so that if you do want to go to the toilet, you don't have to take the whole thing off. Oh, I just love it.
One-piece ski suits went out of fashion years ago, but these guys have come along and reinvented it to make it look so cool.
Exactly.
Even I would wear one.
They are super, super comfy. I mean, I've actually got one at home and I can't wait to try it out on the slopes. So that's the Mark V. We've also got the Mark V Shell. So this one's slightly different. This is a more sort of backcountry freeride version of the Mark V. It's a shell material, so it's not quite as insulated, not quite as warm, but it's much better if you are doing sort of the higher activity, the ski touring, anything like that. This one was actually tested by their guides out in Japan, so apparently it can survive the Japao powder for months. So if it's good enough for them, it's definitely got to be good enough for us.
Tell you what, it makes a statement, doesn't it? And I think, you know, just wearing that is going to get a few looks, but definitely in the right way.
You on the slopes.
No, you wouldn't. I'm up for that.
So this is the Mark V Shell. I have just been reliably informed that it is Mark V and not Mark V, as I was saying for so long earlier.
However, though, if you put it in Google, it's Mark V. So you're actually one step ahead here, I think.
So yeah, that's the Mark V and the Mark V Shell. 349,449, available at oneski.com. Can't recommend them highly enough. I think they're just great. Now, Rob, you're the only one of us that actually picked up a base layer to talk about in this bumper gear guide.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, base layers are really important. In fact, I'm wearing one. I've been wearing one all day today in our little chalet, and it's about a 20-year-old version of this, the Helly Hansen Leaf Merino lightweight hoodie, and this has got a hood on it, obviously. It just, you know, I love these base layers from Helly Hansen. They do last years and years, and the base layer product, especially if it's cold, you know, the hoodie really makes a difference. And it's such an important garment to have. You know, start from the base layer upwards, and actually it's one of those things that's probably the most important thing you're wearing on the slopes. You know, there's nothing much you can say other than it feels really nice and soft, and it's a base layer product, but it's a really important thing to wear.
It's part of that Leafer range that you just love, isn't it, Rob?
It's part of the Leafer range that seems to be growing on me all the time. But this is a classic Helly Hansen. You know, it's got the kind of Helly Hansen look there, the stripes down the sleeve. It's about £80 retail. So yeah, I might be wearing one of these.
Like the super important part of the base layer, obviously, is kind of like that wicking ability, isn't it? To remove
Absolutely.
kind of like the moisture and stuff which might build up on the skin, to get rid of it quickly, so we can kind of trap in the kind of the heat and stuff. So yeah, base layers, like when you're coming for your ski trip, like they're definitely a one to think about.
Yeah, you know, don't compromise. And you've spent a lot of money going on a ski holiday, and if you wear a, you know, like just a cotton t-shirt underneath your mid layer or your ski jacket, it's just not going to perform well. You're gonna get damp and cold at the end of the day.